Justin Trudeau's popularity in the polls is a problem for the Conservatives, and they'll take any chance they get to knock it down. But Trudeau has a way of giving them those chances. Trudeau's meeting last week with a group of Toronto women was an example. Even with Sun TV watching for any slip, he was asked which country he most admired and referred to China.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say we need to go green as fast as we need to start investing in solar. I mean, there is a flexibility that I know Stephen Harper must dream about, of having a dictatorship that he could do everything he wanted, that I find quite interesting.
Trudeau's rivals pounced on that, saying it proves he admires dictatorship.
His answer demonstrates again a long-standing position of our party that he is in over his head.
I found it a bit silly for Justin Trudeau to say that what he admired the most was a dictatorship, frankly. I've always been rather fond of democracies.
And it wasn't just politicians who condemned Trudeau's comments.
A Canadian politician said, I look for China. I'm admire of the basic dictatorship in China. That is not only shocking, that is a shame.
All of that put Trudeau where no politician wants to be, trying to explain himself.
The point I made was that despite all of our freedoms and our extraordinary system of government and democracy, we are up against countries that play by different rules that we would never accept, but that find themselves able to address big issues quickly and completely.
In truth, of course, politicians of all stripes often express admiration for the way China's dictatorship gets things done. Stephen Harper, for example.
China has been witness to the greatest surge in general prosperity in the history of mankind. More than 400 million people have been lifted out of poverty.
But Harper never ad-libbed anything about admiring dictatorship, although he did praise its accomplishments, rather like Justin Trudeau. But who says politics has to be fair? If the Conservatives can raise money by painting Trudeau as a fan of communist dictators, they will, Wendy, they will.
There's been an unsettled, ambiguous quality to Justin Trudeau's leadership from the very beginning. We never quite know where the needle is going to fall. Does he earn all the attention getting because he radiates inspired, mature leadership? Or because he's one of those famous for being famous types? Is the Trudeau phenomenon fandom, or is it a wild response to genuine leadership? Is it a Johnny Depp flair or sparks of Churchilliana? Is he a magnet for every TV camera and headline simply because he's attractive, given to party stunts, photogenic beyond the dreams of most MPs? Do people mob him, swoon, and take iPhone pictures mainly because he's Canadian royalty, by far the most famous 40-something in Canada? Or is it something else altogether? Are people looking at Trudeau and seeing signs of the qualities that go deeper than name or fame? Deeper than looks or locks, qualities that emerge from character, from a trained and educated mind, intellectually strong and curious? Well, the selling of Justin Trudeau to a ladies' evening last week, $250 a pop, to see the real Justin and quiz him, just for ladies, mind you, tends very strongly to the Johnny Depp, not Churchill side of the equation. The ladies had questions. What's your favorite virtue, Justin? Who's your hero? Questions of real sting and depth, perhaps only surpassed in vigor by, are you a brunch person? Or Chardonnay, do you think it really goes with fish? Now, being liked is one thing, but when a future prime minister is asked the government he now most admires and answered that of communist China, because it could turn things around on a dime and order up green policies with a snap of their dictatorial fingers, we're staggered. That wasn't just dumb, admiring a murderous dictatorship. The record of Mao Zedong is a Hitler-scale blot on humanity. It was almost weird. It was certainly immensely careless. And no, it wasn't a joke. The trouble for Mr. Trudeau is that these kinds of appearances, more fluff than fodder, playing off his glamour, place him very much in the unserious world of entertainment celebrity and give nutrition to the thought that he is a lucky lightweight, not a serious leader of a modern democracy. Where is Mr. Trudeau on stage, as his father was wont to do, delivering full, thought-out essays on Canadian life, aspects of how we live and govern ourselves, our place in this new age, or the shifting nature of Canada's economic and social landscape? A flutter on pot policy doesn't cut it, and web stunts or Movember mustaches playing off the Johnny Depp persona, well, they look cute on Twitter, but they don't do for a real leader. All this, too, as Thomas Mulcair takes over question period and looks like a man ready for a step up. It's a moment of choice. The lightness of being Justin may just be unbearable. For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.